Hey folks, so we will talk about the agents as usually, and for the last 2 years I was building the artificial intelligence assistant that was focused more on the human to agent interaction and the memory and understanding and all of the things. But I always was keen to build something called the social brain where agents could interact to each other. And nowadays we have the variety of the protocols on market. Some these big protocols is driven by the big companies, like for example, Google do the agent-to-agent protocol, Microsoft do the ACP, Amazon do the same. I don't believe that the future of such things could be dictated by the big companies. I'm more about the organizations that will build a decentralized future, maybe without this crazy corporate flavor. But as usually they drive the process because they simply have the power, money, and time and resources to do so. We will not talk about the agent to agent, but it's still quite promising protocol. We will talk about what they actually miss and how these protocols could look like. Because I published my article about the LOCA, and I really like the LOCA approach. I was talking about the protocol-based and data-driven solutions for agents, for ages, and for agents for ages. But right now we have finally the time. What I really think that we shouldn't have one protocol. We should have the layered stack of the protocols, the same as good old internet was built. And yeah, we have some common problems that any kind of distributed agent systems will have. And nothing new. We need the identity, we need the verifiability of identity, we need the process of the discovery of the agents, the understanding the capabilities, and the trust layers and all of the things. And it's what SSI as an ecosystem try to solve already for the couple of decades, right? And we have all these decentralized identifiers, the verifiable credentials, and all of the things. But what's really missing, and I a couple of times mentioned it already in my articles, that I see the artificial intelligence agents as human-like entities, and what's make them special that we somehow need to recreate and mimic the human society when we start talking about the agent-to-agent interactions. And I see two big things. First of all, yeah, for sure we need identity, but we need much more than cryptographic tools that will prove the identity. We need the identity for agents that coupled with their capabilities and understanding what the agents could do for the society and swarm of agents. And it's much bigger. So usually when you're creating the prompt that try to solve some problems with LLM, you're setting some kind of identity. Yeah, you world-class software architect specialized in decentralized systems, resolving this problem with this and these tools. And we expect that the agent identity will be something like the business cards with the set of capabilities, characters, and services that they could do for us. And identity is extremely wide topic and deserves a series of the separate videos how the identity for the agents could look like. The next thing that we really need to think about for the agents, it's it's an ethical framework. So we have some kind of society of the interactions, and we need some common ethics and governance for the agents, and this ethical framework really miss its part. And ethical framework and ethical artificial intelligence, it's a big topic, but we could not interact with the agents that do not share our ethical values. And then the more fundamental even than the ethics, it's semantics. So if agents want to talk to each other and they are free and autonomous, we need to have a way to make them understand each other. And here we get something completely new that it's not totally new. We have the knowledge graphs and ontologies for ages already in the industry, but when we start talking about the communication, we need to understand the common semantics and the common goals, common entities, and semantic layer make agents understand each other, because we could eliminate the semantic layer in multiple ways. First of all, we could sacrifice the autonomy and say that all the agents that we interact have embedded semantic and the common worldview. So it's mean that something like Soviet Union, that everybody is aligned with the communistic party and understand what they mean. It's one way. Another way, it's we sacrifice the natural language component. So we just talk with structured messages that have the implicit semantics. But I don't believe in this approach, because we all can just to go in a plain English and explain agent what we want, instead of sharing some cryptographical protected verifiable credentials. But I believe that actually the truth is somewhere in between, that we have the semi-structured messages and natural language that work in a tandem for the different tasks, because it's how humans work, that you could talk to each other, but if you need to go to the doctor and do some special examination, you have the prescriptions, you have some documents that instrument you to prove that you are eligible to do something. So we as humans use this mix of the natural language and some kind of verifiable papers. So maybe agents could use the same, but again, we need to find a way how we transfer not only the messages over the wire, but actually the common meaning that allows us to interact. And semantic layer, it's a huge thing. And also, if we acknowledge that we want to work with the autonomy agents that take their own decisions, we also need to have the consensus protocols. And on consensus protocols, I mean not the state of the blockchain, but more the state of the proof of work that agent done. That if you have the multiple agents that cooperate on the common goal, or you have competitive agents that fight for the work to do, he needs to reach the consensus if a goal was reached and if work was done. Because without this consensus layer of common understanding, if we achieve the goal together, all the cryptographical tooling around the signatures and contracts and all of the things doesn't really matter. And this consensus, semantic, and identity, they fundamental building layers that allow us to build the next layer of the protocols that encode the code of conduct, behaviors, and complex social interaction. But this is already not the technical layer. This is already the layer of the artificial sociology and artificial psychology that will arrive on top of this, because if we want to have the human-like entities, we need to build a human-like environment for them. And I'm pretty much sure that maybe our kids will be the artificial psychologist or artificial sociologist, and it will be the new, completely new domains that will arrive. But right now, let's try to solve the problem of identity, consensus, and semantics fast, just to enable this communication. It was all that I was keen to share with you today. See you next time. Choose.